This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the amazing all-in-one website platform that makes managing your brand an easy and unique experience. But more on Squarespace and everything they have to offer later in the video. Oh boy, this one was so funny. I had so much fun reading this chapter. I mean, my god. Even though we're right in the middle of one of the most tense situations that's ever happened in One Piece, we can still be brought right back to the comedy, man. It's awesome. It's so great to be here. And I hope you agree, but in case you don't, let's go ahead and go over the chapter and why I think that it's hilarious. So it starts off with the Buster Call in full effect, right? And it looks like Kizaru and Saint Saturn, they're gonna stay behind to make sure that the job actually gets done. Something to notice here, Adam Sandler is not as playful as he was before. He looks like he's a lot more serious, which is something that I wish I could care about. But again, if you've seen the last chapter review that I did, I'm just so tired of Adam Sandler just pretending that he doesn't love his family. I'm sick of it. And this whole time I was hoping, like, God, please, Adam Sandler, please do not try to fight them. Your heart's not in it. It's painfully obvious, and I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, so it starts off like that. Adam Sandler is quite obviously conflicted. We also get a lot from Vegapunk. Like, he's fighting back, like, why does Egghead Island have to be destroyed? You know, that obviously makes him really sad because, you know, this was the island of the future. It's very clear to see that science really is the most important thing in Vegapunk's life. And it kind of is really sad. He's watching his entire city, like, all of the work that he's, like, done over the years, it's pretty much manifested itself just in this city where all of his knowledge sits. And the government has brought a Buster Call to this island. And why? It's because Vegapunk was snooping around in the Void Century. Saint Saturn pretty much tells Vegapunk, like, this is your fault, okay? If you didn't go looking around in the Void Century, then I wouldn't have to come here and destroy your entire island. So everybody's getting off the island except for the Pacifista units. The Pacifista units are moving in, and Sanji's team is getting Kuma into the Labostratum. Like, this is when the comedy really starts, but honestly, this is where the fun begins. Anakin Skywalker, this is where the fun begins. But seriously, right off the bat, you get Sanji taking charge of the situation, talking on, it looks like he's got an earpiece. He's communicating with Nami. He's asking her for the situation over there. I don't know, it immediately became like this high stakes, like, I don't know, not spy thriller, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's way more exciting for some reason. We got all these gadgets. Sanji has AirPods that he can use to communicate with people. It's awesome. They're on a mission and it really feels like it. Another cool moment though is Bonnie asking about Vegapunk. You know, it's great that, you know, after she saw all of Kuma's memories, she's like, wow, I'm sorry that I hated you for so long, dude. Really don't want to leave this island with Vegapunk dead, so can we please, we should go get him for real. This is when Sanji reassures Bonnie, like, don't worry, I'm gonna save him and we're gonna get everybody out of here in one piece. I promise, Bonnie-chan. I cannot tell you how much of a relief it is to not see hard eyes in this chapter with Sanji talking to Bonnie. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I thought that there would be, it's just, we've seen him sniff people. Do I need to say more? I'm scared that the pedestal that I put Sanji on is just one creepy action away from being torn apart. But no, he's cool. So Sanji goes back in to go try to save Vegapunk, and this is when he's communicating with Nami over his AirPod. And this is when we get a really nice panel of Nami taking charge of the weakling trio and a sleeping Robin. And at first when I saw this, I was like, why is Robin taking a nap? But it's like, clearly it looks like she's, you know, I guess resting. I can't remember if she got into a fight with one of the Pacifista or not the Pacifista, the black robots. What are they called? The black robots with fire. You know what I'm talking about. God, this is gonna bug me all day. Whatever, we're in the middle of the review. But wait a minute, did Lucci attack? Lucci didn't attack Robin, right? She didn't get into a fight with Lucci. Nah, that's impossible. They would have murdered him. I can't imagine Lucci getting away with that. But before we continue with the chapter, we need to talk about today's sponsor, which is Squarespace, a platform that helps you refine your brand or business in a number of ways. For example, if you need to create a website, well, boy, do I have some good news for you. Because if you use Squarespace, you can get started with Fluid Engine, a drag and drop editor that makes creating a website that truly feels unique easier than you can imagine. And even without Fluid Engine, the website templates that Squarespace has to offer are remarkably flexible, allowing you to choose designs from a ton of different categories to customize every detail of your website. You can even use Squarespace as your very own blog if you want, sharing any photos, videos, or updates for your business whenever you want. So if you happen to be creating a new brand or managing a growing business and you think Squarespace will be as good a fit for you as it is for me, please head over to squarespace.com and get started with a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to this link that's on the screen right now to receive 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. A very special thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and an equally special thank you to you for watching this video. And with that, we are back to the show. But yeah, it looks like Robin is recuperating. But this is when, like, Usopp starts getting in some jokes. He's just like, why? Why, God? Why do we have to go through another Buster Call? What? Why? Why do they keep doing this? And it's I'm glad somebody said it. Like, Usopp just, like, literally as soon as the Buster Call is announced, the next chapter is Usopp like, what? Why? But Nami's still talking to Sanji, and she informs us that Zoro is in fact still fighting Lucci, and they sent Jinbei over to help him so that he doesn't get lost. I'm married to the idea that Lucci is already unconscious and Zoro is just lost already. And, you know, depending on how long Egghead is going to be, I think that's how it's going to end up. I really think that's how it's going to end. He's going to get there right as the fight's ending or after it's already over, and Zoro's going to be just thoroughly lost. And so the real reason that Jinbei is going out there is definitely just to make sure that Zoro doesn't get, like, because he would have got lost. I'm glad. That is the most consistent thing about Zoro's character. To be honest, honestly, if Zoro beat Lucci and found his way back to the ship, I think that was the Blackbeard Pirates. I think he'd be the imposter. I'd be like, there's no way you did. No, Katarina Devon, you can't fool me. Dude, that'd be such a funny way for Oda to reintroduce the Blackbeard Pirates. Zoro beats Lucci and just comes back like, oh, hey guys, glad I found you. And then everybody just looks at him like, what the fuck? The hell's this guy? Then we get another favorite moment of mine from this chapter where Nami tells Sanji that it looks like Brook has also went with Lilith and they're off to go get the Sunny. And Lilith is singing Brook's praises. She's like, wow, I'm so glad you came here with me on this mission. We're definitely going to get the ship there in no time. You see, Brook is using his ice powers to slide the Sunny on the ground, so they're riding a ship just on regular land. And Lilith is like, this is awesome. We're definitely going to make it. By the way, Skeleton, how the hell do we stop this thing? And I love Brook so much. She's just like, huh. I didn't think of that. And Lilith's like, we're gonna fly off the edge. She's like, isn't there anything we can do? And Brook's like, you know, I'm all ears if you got any ideas to stop this problem that I created. It gets a tiny bit sad during this though, because the pacifistas are advancing, the Buster Call is in full effect, and Vegapunk is seeing this city that he has spent years with up until this point just go up in flames right in front of him. He is at the center of one of the most tragic backstories of the entire series, but you know, everybody was in a tough situation, okay? And he didn't put the bomb in Kuma. Again, just thank God, thank God Vegapunk was like, okay, so they want me to put the bomb inside the guy that they lobotomized. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I just hope things turn around for Vegapunk, you know? I hope, someone needs a happy ending. But meanwhile, Atlas, Frankie, Kuma, Bonnie, that whole team, they're riding this train shuttle thing, the hyper capsule it looks like it's called. It looks like from where they are to get to where they need to be, it's gonna take exactly 32 seconds. But while they're riding this thing, Adam Sandler comes out of nowhere, pulls out his light sword and just cuts it, and he derails the whole thing and it puts everybody in a bad situation. I said he has one more chapter to be bullshitting. So to be fair, this is one more chapter. There's not a break next week, so we'll be able to see. To be fair, this is the chapter that I gave him. Adam Sandler, the very next chapter, this is over. Like, I hope you are setting up a wicked face turn, all right? That's just the only way I can be invested in the nonsense you're pulling off right now. And Sanji sees Kizaru do that, and he's like, Adam Sandler, you son of a bitch. You know, this is why you didn't win an Oscar for Uncut Gems. I can't be the only one that's hoping that this is setting us up for a Sanji versus Kizaru matchup. I want Sanji to kick the indecisiveness right out of Adam Sandler. But again, he could just be goofing. He could have a different plan. He could be setting up just like a wicked face turn. We don't know. We don't know yet. I will say that if this is an elaborate ruse, it's pretty elaborate. It looks like everybody's about to be destroyed by the pacifistas. Meanwhile, right before the chapter ends, we cut to Luffy, his swollen belly laying on the ground. He's like, oh, I'm stuffed. I can barely move. I just love the banter the Marines do. They're just like, I know that's not who I think it is. Jesus Christ, he's an emperor. Someone put him in a bag or something. I just imagine being the Marines, all right? Your boss turns into a spider. Adam Sandler doesn't know what to believe in or who to support. Like, in the middle of all this destruction and chaos and against all the odds, there is a crackhead with a full stomach. Can't really even tell what Luffy was eating, but I like to think he just ate like 45 McDoubles back to back. Just an aggressive amount of fast food. You know, Luffy's gonna become the pirate king. But good God, if he won't have diabetes before he gets there. But after both of those cliffhangers, you see that there are a bunch of Navy ships that have been sunk by an unknown person, or pirate, or whatever. And the Marines that see this say they have to report this to Kizaru. They have to make sure that he knows that they're heading for Egghead too. We don't know who they is, but I would just like to remind you, the Blackbeard pirates. The Blackbeard pirates are here. Or at least someone that is on a Blackbeard pirate ship, but I'm honestly scared to think of the implications of what if it's not a Blackbeard pirate, just someone who could get on one of Blackbeard's ships? What does that mean? Who is there? And also, Blackbeard was fighting Law. The other people were on Pirate Island fighting old crackhead grandpa and all of the Marines that came to save him. And I know like a few of the Blackbeard pirates, like they are unaccounted for. Like they could be here. But it's like, I wish they just show themselves. What are they doing, man? I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. In the middle of all this going on, the last thing we need is that dirty pirate warthog and his crew of just ugly degenerates coming around and just ruining everything even more. There's a buster call here. Well, that's a good point, actually. There's a buster call here. Why would the Blackbeard pirates walk into a buster call? God, I just can't wait. Luckily, there's not a break next week, and the chapter ends with Saint Saturn talking some more head, so, you know, nothing new there. Which is going to be all the more satisfying, because you know, like, Oda's setting something up. I'm pretty sure next chapter something really satisfying is going to happen. Like, that is what that's my agenda piece. That's what I want to see in the next chapter. Something really exciting. God, and you know what? Adam Sandler, you don't even have to be in the next chapter. I'll be honest. We've seen enough. We've seen enough out of you. I said I'd give you one more chapter. This was your one more chapter to get your shit together. I hope you have thoroughly collected all your shit, and I hope you got it all together. And I hope we can just move on from here. But yeah, I really like this chapter, guys. I mean, from the start, it just had a different feeling. Everybody was running around, talking on their AirPods, telling everybody like, yeah, we need to get to the next phase. How's everybody doing? Don't worry, I'm en route. Roger, over, out. It was so cool, man. Sanji, as usual, man, he's doing so many different things that people just aren't even thinking about. Like, you guys remember earlier in this arc when Luffy was going crazy and he immediately, like, just without hesitation, trapped Kaku in a bubble. He was just laying down. He wasn't doing anything. And Sanji was like, all right, well, just better put him in the bubble. I love Sanji. I love him, man. I don't know if I'm making him the MVP of this chapter too, but I liked him in this chapter too. I don't know. Maybe we'll give the MVP to this chapter to Brook, though. He deserves some shout outs. I'll tell you who I'm not going to give it to, though. Zoro, please be finished, man. Please don't still be fighting Lucci, man. This is not Water 7 anymore. This doesn't make any sense. But that's it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think about the chapter in the comments below, and let me know what you're looking forward to seeing next week. Is it Sanji versus Adam Sandler? Is it Adam Sandler finally getting his shit together? Is it Vegapunk managing to save Kuma and restore his individuality, giving us the happy ending we know just is not gonna happen at all? Is it Jinbei finding Zoro while he's fighting Lucci, and then they both just jump him? Not because they have to, because they want to, because it would be funny, because I want that to happen. All of this and so much more might be answered in the next episode of One Piece is Hilarious. But that's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being interested, and I can't wait to see you next week.